Waiting for chat to let me know. Yep, when I'm back. Looks like I'm offline. Cool. So Pixel Titans Alt Zone is saying it's up. Let me just refresh on my end to make sure everything looks cool. Twitch is going to make me watch it now. There we go. Okay, cool. Nice. So it looks like I am live. Stream quality is excellent. Got some folks in chat, which is cool. Yeah, let's get going. Get some work done. Hey everybody. I'm Joshua. Today is December 4th, 2016, and today, like every Sunday, I'm working on my video game Delver. For those of you who don't know what Delver is, it's a first-person dungeon crawler with RPG elements, roguelike elements, procedural generation. Yeah, it's inspired by a lot of first-person shooters and role-playing games from the 1990s. This is the website here, delvergame.com. If you want to support us, you can purchase us. We are in early access on Steam. We are also available through a Humble widget on delvergame.com if you'd rather go that route. If you're not into early access, I get it. You can wait until we have fully released. That's also a good thing to do. So let me say hi to some folks. Looks like we have a good number. So it looks like Kirby's here, Nickman's here. Two Man 2 is here. Pertev Gap is here. Try not to miss anybody. Pixel Titans Alt Zone. Hey folks, thanks for dropping in. So let me, yeah, let's. I usually kind of the first thing I do is I go to a command prompt and we kind of review the changes that have gone in since the last stream, so since last Sunday. So let's just go to my Git repository. Let's do Git status, make sure I got latest. Yep, so I do have the latest code from the remote, which is cool. I'm just going to do a git log with some fancy printing like I always do. So let me just copy that out of my cheat sheet and paste it here. So git log one line since 1 week ago is what we want. And then some pretty formatting. So it looks like a few things have happened since the last stream. I think this was done on stream. So so basically throughout the code base, there are places where we are just referencing kind of colors either by creating them or by like the predefined ones in libgdx. So what I'm trying to do is trying to round up wherever we use colors and then take all those colors and push them into a static class that manages colors better. So for example, if we define a color for magic effects, that way everything gets the same color. Previously it was just kind of, we just kind of like, we say magic effect equals color dot green and not pulling it, that's from the libgdx file. So we want to pull it from our color definitions so they're all consistent, because there are cases where they aren't consistent with each other. So that's not great. It looks like Josh Frederick, Chris, and Johan are also in chat. So hey folks, thanks for popping by. I appreciate it. Just kind of doing my little Git recap here. So working on putting the Delver specific colors in its own class. More color cleanup here. I think on a stream too, I noticed that the slow effect speed wasn't quite right, even though it was. I think in code it was set to half speed, but in game it felt really slow. So I bumped it up to 75% speed, and that feels a little bit better. This is Chris suggested this. So what it is the explosions for the fire wand now. It's a dynamic light. When it explodes, it will start off at a kind of a yellowish color, and it will lerp to a dark red, and it looks nice. And then also, some folks in the last stream had said that the pressure plate traps had gone away, and I had kind of noticed that myself, but I guess I didn't realize it till you told me. And looking back at the code, what had happened is for the September update, um, all the traps were hard coded. That is to say that we built all the objects in code, and then we chose from that list. What happened is now, let me pull up the code and I'll show you. You can actually define traps on a per area basis, which is really cool. Um, so let me see, data dungeons, I think. Yeah, so the level class the level object now has a property called traps, which just takes an array of names, and these correspond to entities in the trap um, trap group. And um, proximity spikes were easy because we already had an entity for them, and that was just what the trap system was defaulting to. But this pressure trap was something a little bit more custom, and it was done only in code. So what I did is I went into entities.dat, and I actually just I rebuilt the pressure plate from code, and I kind of created the necessary entities to get the same effect. I might need to tweak some of these values. I think the position needs to go down a little bit. I think it's still a little too high. But the short, I guess the whole point of that little tangent is that uh, pressure plates are now back. And also, I noticed that somebody had reported that potentially you could get teleported above. There's a specific room that has a spike pit. So I went ahead and put some teleport blockers in there, so you can't kill yourself. Um, Classy Kai says, "Hey man, been playing the game for a few years now. I really enjoy it. Thank you. That's very kind of you to say." And I don't know. I'm really, I guess, surprised that people stick with it so long. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm glad folks keep coming back to Delver. It's really cool. Let's take stock. So the September update we released, wow, in September 11th or 12th, around there. And we were shooting for a November update, which obviously since December 4th has not happened. Um, and a couple things contributed to that. So we said for the November update we were going to do improved particle effects and UI work. And what ended up happening is we have done some of the particle effects. There's still more work to be done there. We overhauled the archery system, so the archery actually works like it should. Better collision, bows now honor enchantments, all kinds of crazy stuff like that. And we've also revamped the wands so that they are more differentiated and they play differently. So this has added a lot more work, which means the update is slipping. So generally, the practice in most software development is to, I mean, it's a good practice that if you push items into a particular release or update, that you have to push some items out, because we initially kind of estimate this length of time. We commit to a certain number of items, and then because I inflated that, we need to figure out what to cut. It looks like some of the UI stuff might get pushed out of this update. So I'm going to focus on trying to get the particle effect stuff tied off. So that includes the wands and the status effect stuff I've been working on. Luckily, I have a list of stuff over in my GitHub issues page, and I'm going to try to work off that today and try to get some stuff knocked out so we can get this update out soon. Because I'd rather get it out to you sooner than later, but I just don't want to. I don't want to have like a half-ass release. I want to get the content that we have in right now, polish that up to a good quality level. Let me see. Syntax421 says I had the game for a few years now and pop in, check in every once in a while. That's cool. I'm glad to hear that. Classy Kai says how I considered co-op. Yep. Yeah, the multiplayer question gets asked every stream, so maybe people keep suggesting me create an FAQ for my page. But yeah, no, we have considered it, but it would be so let me kind of recap. So again, I'm Joshua. I'm one half of the Delver development team. The other developer is Chad. So I do all the art. I do all that's 2D, 3D UI. I do a lot of the level design, and lately I've been doing a little bit more programming. Chad he's done the far vast majority of the programming. He also handles a lot of the business side of things. He also handles pushing out builds to like Steam, Humble, wherever. Uh, so there's two of us, and we work on this in our free time. This is not our full-time job. It's a passion project. We've been working on this Chad's been working on it for over 4 years. I've been working on it 3, and we love Delver, and we're trying to get it done. But life has a way of interrupting. Um, so no, right now if we were to add multiplayer to Delver, it would blow the scope way out of proportion. We just never finish the game. So we're trying to make it a nice, small, contained, tight single player experience that feels good. And maybe in the future we'll work on multiplayer. Who knows? That's a problem for future Joshua. Classic Guy says, I wish I could make my own game. Been wanting to for a while, but don't even know how to start. Yeah, so the best way to start making games is start small. Start with the things you know how to do and make that into a game. Um, yeah, and it also depends, like if you are a programmer or an artist, there's just different disciplines. It makes it easier or harder depending upon what you know how to do. So let's get going. So let me look at my list. Let me just pull this in, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this is the November update, the UI update, which obviously is no longer UI focused. So I have this wand improvements task, this archery improvements task. This is a bug for the lava modes and fountains are not spawning. Does that need to get fixed for this update? No. So let's go ahead and change the milestone to January. And let's go back to our issues, back to November. Okay, so push that one out. Removed hard-coded actions. I'd really love to get these hard-coded actions and this invert look for gamepads. This mouse look starts with high DPI mice. I'm going to push that out to January as well, simply because there's a workaround for it. And you see a lot of these bugs too. If you folks report them, I try to create a link so I can get back to you and let you know when it's fixed. But for the time being, let's just push this out so we can get this update shipped to you folks. Okay, so it looks like there's 1, 2, 3. So there are like 5. Is that right? Let me refresh. Yeah, there are 6 tasks remaining. Looks like the archery improvements, 3 out of, so it's 75% done. What do I have left? Make arrows break on walls and enemies. Let's do that first. Let's get this task done so we can complete the entire task, and that will feel nice, right? That will get us closer to being complete. So yeah, let's try to be organized and get this done right. Yeah, so Chris has a good point too. Sometimes it's easier to make mods than making a game from scratch, simply because with mods, a lot of times you already have the tools and you have the content, and you're just kind of tweaking and changing that. And Delver is very mod friendly. I spoke about it on previous streams, and there's actually usually some modders show up in chat. So I mean, if you have questions about modding Delver, I'm sure chat is happy to help you get started there. Yeah, I mean, you have to make a bunch of amateur work before you start getting better, right? So, they say practice makes perfect, but like it's a combination of practice and like doing the work and also like taking time to kind of really learn and like try to figure out what you're doing wrong and how you can improve. Okay, so arrow stuff. So here's what's going on, and let me talk through my thought process. So what happens now? Look at the source code here. Entities, projectiles, missile. So what Chad did is he added a break. So basically, there's this thing called maybe break, and basically, so if it's not stuck and there's a 30% chance. So what happens here is sometimes when you hit an enemy, if we look at the usage of this, So it looks like there's a chance to maybe break on bounce off, which is cool. Um, yep. So that is so that's probably all right. What I don't like is this this breaking on enemy hit because it just kind of disappears into a black hole. Um, what I'd like is if it hits a wall, there's a move that there, so then we can do a little particle effect and we can so it makes more sense why the thing is breaking. So let's do that. So if it hits something static or it's a trigger, maybe break, that's fine. I want to let's comment that one out for now. So I don't want to break on entity hit because again you can't. Well, actually, maybe these are all valid. Let me just add the effect. I think that's what's bugging me is you can't tell when it breaks, and it's just kind of like magic. So let me real quick. I'm just gonna make it really quick and dirty, try and get this stuff done. Um, so particles. That's not the right one. That's from the last stream, my example. So let's open up. Let's go to my repository. Particles here. I also need to tie off this poison stuff, and then I also want to open up my pardon me items, and I'm just going to copy that, and then I'm going to paste that here, and then I'm just going to basically just chop this in half so we get a broken arrow. It's pretty crude, but hopefully it gets the idea across. Okay, there's that. And then this. Merge save. Okay. Well, I want to just add just a little bit more, just a little bit more information than that, just so you can tell it's broken. But again, some of this detail just simply isn't necessary. Okay, save it, call it good. Now what we want to do is in maybe break, we're going to potentially add some particles, right? So we're doing a hit world, and let's do create broken arrow particles. Okay, so how do we do that? Let's look at where we do particles elsewhere, and let's just lift that code entirely. Cache pool. So this is a pretty minimal entry, so let's do something like that. Let's do let's paste that there. And what we want to do is so this takes in quite a few parameters. It takes in a location and a velocity and a color. Let me see. So x, y, z, that's the position. X, v, y, v, y, z, that's velocity, lifetime, scale, in scale. I think there's multiple. So with these are methods that are data members of a class. They belong to the cache pools class. So there's multiple instances of this. There's overloaded. The method is overloaded, so you can call it different parameters. So I want is just a little bit more simple one. So maybe this right here. This is what I want. I think. It says XYZ, XYZ velocity, lifetime, texture, color, and full right. So let's do that. So let me go back to my missile, and then I want X, Y, Z. X, Y. This is just me getting it in there. X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z. So position, velocity, lifetime, text color, and full brights. Text color, full brights. There we go. Okay. So this is calling hit world at X, A, Y, and Z, A, which is the velocity, which is a little weird. Let me start with so I want, go ahead and inherit the position of the missile. I want no velocity. The lifetime, for now I'm going to make it 100, which is way long, but that's okay. This text, we need to figure out the index for the for this. So we can look at, this is 8 wide, so this is 0, 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 40. 1, 2, 43, 44 is what I want. So 43. Color right now is it's just gonna be color dot white, and full bright is false. So I'm not gonna worry about rotation amount right now. I'm gonna do let's cache this, right? So level equals game dot get level, and then I can go level spawn non-colliding entity P. So that should be okay. That should do what I want. Let's also real quick, let's just do something dirty and let's just make this always break, because we want to test this, right? So let's just say if true, so it will always break, which please do not let me leave this in game. But for testing purposes, yeah, we need to do that. Let me go back to the desktop. Let me see where we set stuck. Stuck equals. So yeah, so also here, let's do a this dot maybe break, then if this dot active is active, then do that. So I can just shoot it into walls and it will potentially break. Let's save that and let's run it. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I'm just gonna throw caution to the wind and try it out first, and then I can debug it. Smith says, "Good afternoon." Good afternoon, Smith. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, Chris is pointing out that recently Yo-Yo Games has announced Game Maker 2, which looks really cool. Game Maker is a pretty fast way to make games, and people have made good games in it. I am all for using whatever tool to get the job done. Some folks kind of look down on stuff like that, but I don't care. Until performance is a problem, I don't worry too much about it. So I want to do ranged short bow and give me some arrows. Okay, short bow, and then there we go. Perfect. The scale is off though. Here, let me do K. ranged 1 arrows, and then if I fire this into the wall, it looks like I need to do a 75% scale on that. So let's try that. So real quick, let's just do maybe break. Let's do a p dot scale equals 0.75, which is cool. Let me go ahead and I'm just going to put this at the beginning up here. And I'm just going to copy and paste this. Yeah. I could do a loop, but since I'm only ever creating 2 particles, it seems like a little overkill. Let me see. True Shadok says, would you consider making it so items can degrade in addition to the chance of breaking, eventually becoming broken? When you start with excellent, might be cool to have a way improve items in general. Well, that's an interesting suggestion. Maybe, maybe not. Right now, I'm just trying to get stuff done. The more stuff I commit to, the longer it takes me to finish. And I really want to get this done by next year. But it is a cool idea. Maybe if Chad is watching or watching this, he would better know how long that would take to implement because he wrote and architected the entire thing. So I feel like I'm kind of a hack job, just kind of making stuff work. But yeah, I mean, maybe the way these conditions are defined, they're not currently like a sliding scale. They're just like something you slap on. Oh, hey Tony, thanks for stopping by, man. Yeah, how's development going on your end, Tony? How's Gravistar going? Nickman says, yeah, so it looks like chat is working on making my life harder by making more features. So game dev 513 says, what are you developing? Yeah, so there's the little pitch there. I'm working on it's a Steam Early Access title. It's called Delver. I've been working on it for 3 years now. It's a passion project, do it in my free time. Trying to get it done, trying to get it finished, trying to get an update out like yesterday because the November update still isn't out and it's December, so that's not great. I talked about earlier in the stream why things got pushed back, and I have a list of things I need to get done, and I am pushing through to get them done. Uh-oh, Tony sent me a link. Oh, nice, nice, yeah. So for folks who don't know, Tony is also a local Seattle independent game developer, and he's working on this really cool JRPG that's just gorgeous. So yeah, they actually stream development regularly too, so feel free to check him out also. Let me see. The Troll Toll says, how often do I sync up with Chad? Usually we chat, not every day, but maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 times a week. It just depends. Yeah, we have a Slack Slack channel we hang out in and just talk to each other. Okay. Cool. So this should create the 2 particles. I want to give them a little bit of velocity and rotation. So if I add this back, I think it will just make them spin. So let's try it. And they're growing. Why are they growing? P dot start scale equals 0.75. P dot end scale equals 0.75. What's going on here? It's so weird. See if that fixes my scale issues. Actually, Chad's been on vacation, so this past week, so don't give him a hard time. Okay, now I have the inverse problem. It looks like the property I need to set is scale here and end scale. Like we are, like again, we do this in our free time as we have it. So um, generally, Chad takes Sundays to go outside and be a human for a while, which I totally can appreciate. That still looks too big. Let me try half size. I just want it to agree with all the other arrows you find laying around. Um, also, I think the bow creates the missile. Let's see if the bow actually instantiates the missile. Missile. Missile scale 2-0. Weird. Huh. I think the way that drawable beams and sprites work is different. So that's why the numbers there don't line up. So a drawable beam is something like the arrows or the lightning bolt, where they have a direction, and sprites always face the camera. So I guess the scale is a little bit different than that. If you want to traumatize him, ask him about Chef. What is Chef? Like the movie Chef? There we go. That seems to be okay. So now the problem is they land directly on each other. Let's do a couple things. Let's not realistic. Well, it's going to be more more suggestive than anything. So let's have them spin in opposite directions. Let's have them live way longer. So maybe 500, because hopefully your world won't be littered with broken arrows. And let's give them a little bit of a velocity. Oh, so Tony also is he works on video games in his free time. So I guess he's talking about work now. Don't talk about work, Tony. So let's do something like this. Let's do ba, 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 ba. Let's do vector 3 break direction equals new vector 3. I know I am doing up a vector, but actually let's just do equals cache pools dot get vector 3, and then game dot ran dot next float. And this will give us a random direction. It's only in the, so this is only in the positive. So let's do something like this. So what this is, this gives us a float value, which is a decimal value between 0.0 and 1.0. So what would happen is if I use this as it is, and then let's go ahead and set this as .x. Because basically I'm going to create a vector to determine the way that this should, the way the particles should break. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create, so if I multiply this by 2, so that gives me a value between 0 and 2. If I subtract 1 from that, I should get a value between -1 and +1, which is what I want. And then I'll do the same thing for the y component, but I'll leave the z component positive because I do want like a little bit of an upward motion when it breaks. So let me see. Chris says, does the direction need to be normalized? So this is a velocity. So let me so refactor, rename, break velocity. There we go. So I don't need to normalize it. I just need to so this is cool. So that, and then what I'm going to do is here I'm going to say break velocity dot set, and then sorry, I'm using my Mac shortcut keys on Windows and it's not liking it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is flip the x and y. So this should result in them when it breaks, they should always go in opposite directions, but they should both go up on the z. It should. We'll see. Famous last words. And again, I have a gut feeling too that I need to swizzle something, but let's see what happens. Wow. So that seems to be break velocity dot scale. Let's try scaling this down by a factor of 100, simply because this might just be the velocity might be way out of whack. It's either, I don't think, it might be going into the wall, or it might just be like moving so fast that it, like, there was a piece that ended up behind me somehow. So yeah, we'll see what's going on. Oh yeah, I'm out of ammo. Ranged arrows. Okay. Yeah, that was all right. Yeah, I think it's looking fine. And that way it's no longer mystery meat. Like if you attack somebody and your arrow breaks, that totally makes sense. Let me just real quick. Let me make a note in here to do play audio. Do I have a break sound already? Yeah. Basically, what we're doing is our audio, we contract through Power of Audio, who are fantastic, wonderful people. But what we're doing is I think we're going to try to batch up the changes we need into just like one big request rather than trying to give them little nickel and diming uh, um, audio requests. So I think that for them, because they're very busy folks. So we try to be respectful of their time. Um, yeah, so it looks like the chat is liking this effect. So let's go ahead and fix it. Let's make sure. Um, so an arrow has a 30% chance of breaking, which might be a lot, but let's see. And it gets called, so when it hits an entity, which is cool. It also gets called when it gets hits on a wall. So let's, but not when it bounces off a wall. That's okay. Yeah, so let's play with this a little bit and see how it works. Let's see. So the troll tool says, how do I set how many particles it breaks into? So what that is, it's just here in this maybe break method. I just copied and pasted. So I basically, so I say this particle P is cache pools get particle. And then I set the particle properties and I add it to the level, and then I just grab another, or I flip the velocity and then I grab another particle and then I add that too. And then what I need to do is do a cache pools free vector 3 break velocity, just to make sure that I return that vector back to the pool. Yeah, there is lots of particle stuff going on. But yeah, let's play this and see how 30% feels, because it was 30% on enemies only, and now it's 30% across the board. So let's check it out. Play. Okay, grab some arrows and let's go on an adventure. Okay, here's the dungeon. Meat might be nice. Crap, missed. Okay, recover that arrow. That's a good melee weapon. Where did this arrow go? Did it break? Maybe I should have them stick around way longer than... Okay. Agility. Yep. Cover the arrow there. Let's see. Dead end. Dead end. Apparently this is the way to go. Hey. There's some folks in there. Let's go say hi to them. There's a trap. A trap.
Over here.
Okay, so that one broke. Crap. Yep, that one broke also. Yeah, this one's stuck in the wall. That one is broken. Yeah, let me make them stick around a little bit longer. But other than that, I think it's going to be fine. So float. Is that a float or is that an int? Lifetime is a float. So float broken lifetime rules. Let's say 1,000. And then let's paste that in there and there. Let's give that a quick play. Again, because Sometimes after a fight, like um, when you go hunting down your arrows, maybe it's good to still have some of those laying around, just so you know what happened. Um, find another place to get in trouble. I'm thinking that a 30% chance to break is probably too high. I might lower it down to 15, simply because there are more cases where you could potentially get breaks now. Crap. Okay. Yep, that one broke. That one stuck. Yeah, I think it's working out good though. I now that when it hits the monster and breaks, I'm okay with it. Um, the troll toll is asking about the white particles. Yeah, I can talk about those real quick. So that's working good. So roll here. Let's go to maybe break. And so right now we want say greater than 8.5 because that will give us a 15% chance to break. Let's go. Yeah, again, these are kind of these gut things. Maybe 0.9. Maybe that seems better. 10% chance because um, like that means you let me see. Because each time you shoot the arrow, there's a 10% chance it will break, and you can do the math on that to figure out like what's the average life expectancy of an arrow. If you remember your stats, or if you've taken stats, maybe you can parse all that. Yeah. So I want to say particle. I think where I copied it from. Yeah. So basically, we just have this little thing called do hit effect, and it just uses again, it creates a particle. It adds a little bit of a random value to both the position and um, the velocity. It uses the default texture and just spawns a few in. It looks like it creates up to 3 to 8. So the troll toast is 10 shots. No, that's incorrect. That's not how it works. So if you think about it, um, uh, where applications, Sublime Text. Okay, so let's just do something like this. Little table. Hopefully you folks can see this. Let me make it real big. This is time and actually, it might be easier. Let me just write it out. That might be easier. Let's do new. International paper A4 sounds great. No grid. Fault. Let me just write. Oh no! I cable tied my Wacom tablet and I can't move it now. There we go. That's better. So if we have let me see. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here we have a 10% chance to break, which is 1 minus 0.9. And then the next one, it should be 1 minus 0.9 squared. Minus 0.81. So here we have a 19% chance. This is 1 minus 0.9 cubed. Clear 0.9 times 0.9 times 0.9. 0.65. So memory set, 1 minus memory recall. That's a 34% chance. Etc. And you keep working your way down this. And that's the actual percentages you get. So if it was, say, 10, that is 1 minus 0.9 raised to the power of 10. So we do scientific. Where's clear? I can't see clear now. So clear. So 0.9 x to the y 10. And then memory set. Clear 1 minus memory recall. So you actually have a 65% chance of, I think roughly, there also think there might be a summation there too. Maybe. But yeah, the stats don't break out quite the way you think. And I'd have to review that, but yeah. Let me see. Yeah, so we're a two-man outfit working on this in our free time. See, GUI 2203 says we're having technical difficulties. Please stand by. Yeah, the trailer is quite old now. I think the trailer was made in 2015. We recently pushed out an update in September, which has a whole new area and some new stuff. And I'm working on even more changes, which are pretty big compared to the previous. I mean, also, yep. Looks like chat is in fact chatting and answering their questions. So that's cool. I think the arrow break is good where we have it. So let's do that. Let's just leave the arrow break in there. So no. Okay, let's close that. Let's look at real quick. Let's look at our changes in GitHub and do a quick self-code review. So I added 2 new particles to support the broken arrow. Let's see. I lowered the break chance. I made it potentially break on stick before it sticks, which is cool. And I added the 2 new particles. The 2 new particles are using cache pools, both for the particle itself and for the vector. Importantly for the vector, I free it up when I'm done with it. Pardon me. For the particles, I believe in their destructor. They free themselves, which is nice. And the troll tool, that you might be right. I haven't had to deal with stats in a while, but I know it's not what you expect. Okay, so fancied arrow breaking. Commit and sync. Okay. So now over here, let's tick off make arrows only break on walls. Well, that's not quite right. Arrows now break. Now create broken arrow particle. Uh, close and comment. Okay, so that's cool. So that's one more thing done off of the November checklist. Let's look at wand improvements. 8 out of 20 is done. Improve overall VFX particle effects 0 out of 6 is done. That didn't work. Breakable pottery, tweak fire, small fire sprite, paralyzed wand. So these actually have some. So that's done and that's done. They have there's some overlap with some of these items. Um, wand improvements. Yeah, let me work on the wand stuff next. I think there are some low-hanging fruit there that I can take care of. The two separated stacks of arrows, yeah. So GUI 2203. Yeah, so now arrows, when you pick up an arrow or a stack of arrows, they will stack appropriately. That has been fixed. Yeah, Chris is correct. It is fixed in the development version. It has not been pushed out to an update yet. Um, okay, actually, real quick, I need to take a real quick break, and I'll be back. Ah. It'll be fast, I promise. And I'm back with a minute to spare. Okay, where were we? So we finished up um, the arrow breakage, which I think is cool. Now let's look at where'd my checklist go? So I have a fire wand, a storm wand, a missile wand, an ice wand, and paralyzed wand. So the fire wand is close to being done. I just need to get the spell art done for that, which is an animated sprite for the particle. So the easy one for all these is explosion lighting, which I can really just knock out pretty quick. So let me just take a look at that real quick. Yeah, desktop is fine. Race play. Okay, so with this, yeah, so right now I think how the explosion lighting works is you can't really notice it because it lerps from one color to another, and usually that second color is black, which means you really can't see it. So let me look at the fire wand and see what I did for that, and kind of just replicate that for the other entities. So let's look at data entities. No, not that one. I want entities.dat. This is where a lot of the game entities are created. So let's look at fire wand. Items.dat, excuse me, yeah. Yep. Let me see. Explosion light start color, explosion light end color. That's what I want. And let's just go ahead and do that for all of our wands. So for the missile wand, this is attached to the explosion. Yes, it is. So let me just real quick, let me just tidy up this a bit so I can kind of better see what's going on here. There we go. And then let's just after the light mod, I'll just paste that in. There we go. So the spell color, I want to just go ahead and copy that because the spell color is kind of this purplish color. So let me do I have? Yeah. Let me just do this real quick. No. 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 I have it installed somewhere, right? Yeah, there we go. There we go. And then all those trailing zeros probably aren't important. But actually, I was using this just to look at stuff in Photoshop. So I was looking at the color in Photoshop. It's red 157, green 24, and blue 197, roughly. Okay, so that's, yeah, that's fine. 197. There we go. So that's the color roughly that we have. This purpley color. And do I want it to? I think I want it to maybe start as kind of like a pink color, or maybe yeah, have it start out way pinker and then kind of go back to like a try to have it just do a little color shifting and maybe a little bit brighter. So let's do this. So yeah, 242, 88, 234. Okay, those are the values I need. I'm just trying to figure out a nice color to go from and to, and I probably don't need more than 4 significant digits. That's probably plenty. copy that. And so a start color is going to be that. And then the in color is going to be just the spell color. And let's see what that looks like. Let's see if it's cool. Gui2223 says, idea, maybe you can have a mysterious merchant or an item that can fix broken arrows or any broken item. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get too crazy into that. What else is different? It doesn't seem to be doing a lot on this explosion. I don't want to get too into oh, because this is defined in the JSON. I actually need to create a new wand for these changes to take effect. If it's in the code only, I can just kind of go from a save file, but if not, I need to create new stuff. Yeah, and I don't really want to have too much of an item system that where we track damage and stuff like that. Right now, it's a very binary thing where an arrow is broken or it's not. And basically, when it's broken, we just delete it from memory. We don't really do anything crazy. So wands, missile wand. Let's see what that looks like. The lifetime of that is way too long. Let me see, an explosion. Do I have a property to control? Hopefully, I have a property to control that. Entity explosion. Start color. Where is this used? Light. Dynamic light. Oh, start lerp. Looks like it's hard coded. Yeah, the lifetime. So let me just expose that as a property then. Yeah, so let's go up here and I'll call it public float explosion light lifetime equals 40. Let's go down here and let's make the light honor it. I like using this pointer. Okay, cool. And then on our new item here, let's also just add that property. And let's make it less. Let's make it 20. Cool. Let's test it out. All right, let's erase our data. So we start fresh. And wands, missile. Maybe even less. Let me drop the lifetime down to 20, and let's actually bring the light mod up a little bit. The light mod is just how much we darken the light by. It's a scalar value. Erase play. There we go. that's, I don't even know if that's even noticeably different. Maybe I'm just splitting hairs here. But let me just go ahead and just do a pass on all of them just to make sure it looks nice. So the fire wand has the most noticeable one. Let me just copy this right here, and I can go to the other wands and make sure they have some appropriate ice wand. And Chris wants to see what the lighting for the fire wand looks like. Yeah, let's check it out. Why not? Since I've already done it off stream, I might as well preview it. Let's create a fire wand. Wands, fire, 5. And because the fire wand has particles that last longer, that's why the lighting lasts longer. I think it looks pretty good. It starts at kind of a yellowish and goes to a red. It's not perfect, but I think it looks great. It looks pretty good. Create another one. Let me just drop down a level so we can find a dark spot and really let you kind of see how it. Here, I think it really works well. Yeah, I'm liking that. This, yeah, so that has the purple, which is not correct, but let me fix it. So right now the spell color is just straight up blue, so I'll make that the end color. And then let's find ourselves a nice, maybe like a light kind of icy blue, like a blue-green maybe? Somewhere in here, like a teal or a turquoisey color. That one seems nice. So it's 65, which I typed incorrectly. 65, 229, and 232. There we go. Okay. And then the start color should be that. And then just delete the significant digits I don't need. And then make the correct properties for this. So RGB. Okay. Storm wand. Storm wand doesn't have an explosion, which is okay. Paralyzed wand. It has an explosion, so I might want to play around with that too. It's also the newest one. It still needs more work. I think I also need to go up here and fix that real quick. Okay. So let's see what the ice wand looks like now. G2203 says I like the redesigns for the wands. Thank you. Yeah, I thought I'd give them some love since they were looking kind of not as cool as they could. And basically, because these are basically first-person shooter weapons, I thought it would be fun to make a small homage to Heretic and Hexen, which basically these are kind of. That's not what I meant. Wands. These are kind of emulating a little bit. So I think the lighting is okay. Their spell effects are kind of blah. Storm wand is okay. Paralyze wand. Yeah, we can just add custom lighting to it since we're doing custom. We're just going to do these in passes, so get all that stuff going correctly. Um, so for paralyze wand, uh, explosion, light mod, paste that in. Um, um, there shouldn't be any green with the ice wand. You can certainly mod in a serpent staff if you want true Shadows. Um, and the paralyze wand should go. This is ice wand. We have a spell color property. That should go after explosion. So for paralyzed, that's magic missile projectile spell color right here. Okay, cool. Right now it's full bright. Yeah, the scattershot crossbow is definitely one of my favorite weapons from Heretic. It just felt really nice to like crunch zombies with it, or not zombies, mummies. They made a nice, really good breaking sound. Um, uh, so I should have the particle sheet up somewhere. Yeah. And I think I want to use this yellow. To go from this yellow to this orange, I think would make sense for our paralyzed stuff. So let's bring that up. And B equals, I'm sorry, you can't see that. My foreground color off to the side here. Let me pull that up. So it is 229, 202, 85. So there we go. That's for the yellow, which should be the end, or your start color. Let's do the start color. Like that. Let me just grab this. And then over to the code. This is the start color. This is R, G, 1, 2, 3, 4, and B. And then the end color. Let's color pick that. And then let's go over here. B equals 218, 139, and 49. There we go. Yeah. No, you definitely should play Heretic and Hexen. They play differently. Hexen definitely has more RPG kind of qualities to it, and also it has um, this weird like hub level that you can kind of go from the hub to levels and come back, and it's really weird. Like you revisit different maps multiple times, where Heretic has a more structure similar to Doom, where you just kind of play through them. Um, and I find that Heretic also has the levels are huge, and they're actually modeled after like towns. You have like houses and stuff, and it gets like some of the later levels in Heretic get pretty crazy, pretty massive. But yeah, definitely you should pick them up. It's pretty fun to play. You can get them pretty cheap on Steam these days or on GOG. Um, so did I get the orange color yet? Sorry, I've been chatting. So that's it right there. And then let's go over here. This is my end color. Control V. This is my R, G, B. Save and let's test it out. Yeah, no, I definitely, I mean, obviously, by the game I'm making, I love those old games as well. But to be honest, I still think that sector-based engines still hold up really well. Even though they can't do like true room over room 3D, I don't know if it's really all that important. You can still really make cool experiences with the limitations of those engines. Um, Wands, and I was doing Paralyze. I think I somehow I reverted my changes on this because it's way too. I slow that. Well, so I need to slow it down and do some stuff around it because I think I had made changes to it, but let's kind of do this incrementally, right? Let's review the changes I've made. So I added a new property, explosion light lifetime, and I've added that to the wands. So updated wands explosion lighting commit sync, and now, and while I'm thinking about it, let's go here. Let's just tick these all off. Storm one doesn't have it, so that's okay. Tick those all off. Now let's give some love to the paralyze wand, I think, because I think it also needs some just tweakage as far as like how the whole thing works. So I want to say on the magic missile project, one of these things I can tweak the speed because I want to slow it down. It's too fast. And maybe the charges. Okay, so let's start looking at the code. So spells, projectiles. So here's the magic missile. Is there anything about speed? No. Magic missile projectile. There's animation speed. That's the stuff Chad added to allow that to work. Magic missile, shot accuracy. I think I can just, is it, there is a speed property. Where's that coming from? Yeah, see, the magic missile has a speed property. Why couldn't I see that? So 017 is the default, so let's go slower than that. So let's go to, this is on the magic missile itself, not the projectile. So on the magic missile spell, speed 0.3, so that's actually faster than default. So let's go, or is that default for all these guys? Maybe not. Let's go 0.125. Let's save that. Let's see how that feels. Alesh Games is what language is this? Yeah, Delver is written in it's written in Java. It uses the libgdx framework, which provides us a nice API for handling input and OpenGL, sound, stuff like that. But the majority of the engine has been written by Chad to handle a lot of the game logic and serialization of data files and stuff like that. Okay. So I want all the wands to behave differently, so I think that's cool. Let me also, I want to do an animated particle for that. Let me see. Let me look at my particle sheet and see where I left off. Because I know I had started working on status effects, so that's what that bubble is for, which is still working correctly. There is the new explosion for the magic missile wand. And actually, that might just be an okay thing to use for the ice wand. I think I can do that plus, well, let me see. Let me see. let me just try adding that for the for the missile wand, for this explosion, the start text and end text and anim speed. Let me copy that and put it onto the ice wand and see how that looks. Because that actually might look okay. Cool. Let's create a new wand. Ice. And let's see. It looks all right. At least it looks better than the one that it was. Can I do? Would flyaways make sense? Or they look crazy. Let me on ice wand. Let me add make flyaways. And the flyaway color is just, for now, it's just straight up blue. Okay, wands, ice, fire. Yeah, that's yeah, that works great for the fire explosion, but not so great for this. It's cool, but it's too much. Yeah, let's not do that. Yeah, that's not as generalized as it ought to be. Okay. Yeah, I mean, so Nickman, I've thought about it both ways. Like I do have these the wands themselves have these kind of like the overall color palette of Delver is pretty pastel-y. It's kind of muted. So like the wands, yeah, they have this kind of nice blue-green color. But the spells are really vibrant, and I kind of like the really vibrant colors for the magic. So I'm kind of hesitant to go away from that, but I'm not sure. Um, yeah. Okay, let me just take stock of where we're at. So I like the magic missile explosion used for that. That works okay. So let me just go ahead and check that off my little to do. So for the ice wand, I think the explosion art there is okay. The storm wand doesn't have explosion art. I can check that off. Wow Freak says, "Do you guys ever thought about adding Bloom to the game?" No, I don't know if really. I mean, Bloom might be interesting, but we're still going for a pretty lo-fi look. Also, I'm really quiet, FSR. Am I not coming through very loud? I can try cranking up the gain. Can you folks hear me okay? Chris wants to ask, why is the ice green? What do you mean is the ice is green? The ice should be blue. Let me double check that, but pretty certain it's blue. Race play. Okay, wands, ice wand. Oh, you mean the? Oh, yeah. You mean the crystal at the end of the wand? It's a green blue. Again, because the rest of the wand is blue, I made the crystal kind of a greenish color. just to add a little bit of variety. I think I also want to add more, on the ice one, I want to add more Y spread, so let's go up to 8. Let's see what that looks like, because I think I prototyped this on the stream and I liked it in the past, so let me try that. Cool, Tony. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully I'll get to hang out with you soon. Not sure when that's going to be, though. I think there's an event coming up here in the near future. Yeah, let me tighten it up a little bit too. So let's make it like 20 and maybe a little bit more of a Y spread. Maybe a little faster. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to make it to the indie holiday party. I'll try, but no guarantees. That's feeling more shotgunny. Having less of a spread, I think, is helping. Yeah, I think that's good. So let me see. Let's look at my changes real quick. So I've tweaked the ice and I've tweaked the I think the paralyze. So I'm tweaking ice and paralyze want feel commit and sync. Let me see what else I might to do. So spell art seems to be a pretty big paralyzed explosion art too. So the spell art's kind of my big stumbling block right now. Like they all just have the old. So maybe I should make a generic one and then kind of have some specialized ones too. I think something like one of these but spinning would probably be okay. It doesn't have to be super fancy, I guess. Just try to get this thing done. Maybe I can stuff it in here too. Yeah, so let's fire up Pixel Edit and see what we can come up with. So file, imports, tiled image, assets, particles, 32 by 32, import tiles, let's go. Okay. Zoom in, and I want to just kind of stuff it right in there because I think 4 frames should be plenty. We'll see. So I want it to kind of look like one of these, but just rotating. Yeah, so I can just draw from scratch. What the heck? So let's make a new animation. And I want it to go from 52 to 55. So base tile is 52. Look at 4. Good. Let's go over here and look at our playback frame. Get this sucker looping. Let's do some drawing. Okay. I don't want it to be huge. Also, let me move back to my brush. That might be a little big. Let me make this smaller. Let's just put it on every frame. There we go. And then I want to that. And let's just go in real quick and dirty like. And then let me fix some of the AA. For some reason, my keyboard shortcuts seem to be like either they're misbehaving or my brain is misbehaving. Not sure at this point which one it is. Let's do that for all the frames. Actually, I might just copy and paste and clean up some of these frames. So let's see what's going on here. So I liked some of the old style ones where they had the little sparkly stuff. But the sparkly stuff works best if you have like some contrasting colors. So let me do something like this. And yeah, actually let's go one more. That way I can still do something like that. I can still call out that. There's that. I did it. Looks like 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. That might be too much. Let me erase, erase, erase. Okay. Yeah, let's just real quick and dirty. That's how we're doing it today. Sorry, folks. We just do that, and then I just want to do a rotation. I want to go 90 degrees and 1, 2, 3, 4 frames. So should be 12? No, 22.5? Yeah, 22.5. So let me just go to the next frame, make a selection. Make sure the selection is correct. Basically the rotation is going to like just make this into garbage, but I can hopefully fix it. Can I do any snapping? Yeah. Actually, let me just real quick, let me export this because I think I have better rotation control in Photoshop. So let me export it as an image. Let's call this browse, go to assets, particles, yup. Save, replace, close this for now. Let me reopen this. Particles, there we go. So Control T, rotation 22.5. Control T. This should be 45. And then whatever 22.5 times 3 is, like 67 something. 67.5. I should have known that. So Control T, 67.5. Okay, let's save that. Then let me pop back into Pixel Edit and see what that actually looks like in motion. Chris says, do I ever use St. Eleven's tutorials when doing animation? Not really. Like, he does some interesting stuff, and he, like, I think I learn more just from his mindset and how he approaches it than actually how he does it. But he's a very talented artist. Yeah, I think for him, reading his tutorials just helps me realize that I need to just basically break things down. Again, like any problem-solving effort, if you break things down into small pieces and work on them as small pieces, they're much more doable. And I think that's the big value that I've gotten from his tutorials. 52. Okay. Which is funny because I do that all the time in programming. For sometimes I lose track of that in art, and I'm not sure why. Okay, that's super rough. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, so that's 52 to 55, and I believe Chad enabled this on the magic missile projectile. Is there a projectile? There is a end animation text and animation speed. Cool. So what I think I need to do, let me just test it out on the good old missile wand. So for the spell itself, I need to have, no, for the missile projectile, I need an end text and anim speed property. So in anim text, let me copy that, go to the items. This is for the projectile. So after text, I'll do in anim text. And my in anim text is 55. My start texture is 52. Is that right? 52. And the other property I need is animation speed. And I'm going to put it pretty small. I'm going to go 7.5 and see how that looks. Wands, missile, 5. I think it's a little big, but I think it's okay. Yeah, I think the little, let me try scaling these suckers down a little bit and cleaning them up. I'm not sure if that motion is too fast either. Yeah, let me clean it up a bit. Let's pull that down. And actually, I try to keep my streams to roughly 2 hours. Last time I did a 4 hour like crazy stream. I'm not sure if I'll do that today. It all kind of just depends where my family is at, I guess mentally. But also, before I end, I want to show you folks something cool. Yeah, this is hot garbage right here. I'm just pulling these in a little bit. What if this spun faster? Okay, well, I can fix these later. But what I wanted to show you is um, cool. So folks look like they're enjoying that, which cool. Like, yeah, I think it will be nice. And I will clean up this art. But I think it's a good direction to head. Um, cool. Looks like folks are agreeing with me. Um, Kirby says it might be an idea just to have just a key that just spawns in the last item you spawned. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. A lot of times for development too, I will just for the wands, I will just give myself like 600 shots, just so I don't ever have to worry about spawning new wands. But yeah, so that's cool. Let me. So Nickman actually sent me a few maps they're working on, and I just wanted to show you because I looked at one and it was really cool and I got excited. So I wanted to save the other one for the stream. So yeah, so if you folks actually, I really am excited by the content you make for Delver, both fan art and mods. And if you ever want, like, if you want me to show them on the stream, I'd be happy to. Actually, I'll probably start picking stuff also off the Steam community website as well, just to share with you folks because it gets me excited. Um, but for today, we're going to look at some of Nickman's levels, I believe, right? Nickman, confirm that you're the one that sent it to me. Your Steam name was different than your Twitch name. So let's go ahead and open up the first one, which I have seen. It's this dungeon.bin, which is really cool. Oh my goodness. It's this really nice like dungeon where it has like these really kind of distinct and nice looking rooms where like there's some really cool lighting going on. They make good use of the props. Like there's like there's a whole table with mugs and bowls, and there's some crates in the corner barrel, and like it just really well. It's like it's really well put together. Like and like this like some of this crazy stuff like this. Like what? There's a shelf with a candle on it, and then you look into the wall and you're like. It's a table. It's a teeny tiny table that they slapped on the wall to make a shelf, and that's amazing. I love it. Um, and they have this, and it's really has this really good sense of like three dimensionality to it, where they have this whole this little bridge going over this area is really cool. Like I really like the way that feels. Um, and then you have kind of this treasure room over here. It feels like a storeroom really, where it has this kind of cool vaulted ceiling. Also, they did this trick too, where you have it looks really beautiful. Like you have, I'll pop in the game, but I'll probably die right away. But like it just looks so gorgeous. Like look at that. Look at the lantern and the chain hanging off the ceiling. It's so good. Um, uh, yeah, so it's like kind of like a storeroom back here. Um, uh, I like the creativity where if you look at this lantern hanging from a chain,
Over here.
again, there's no chain. Well, there's a chain in the game, but it's attached to a platform, which is awesome. And also they use this obelisk thing too to create like a little fixture for the light, which again is really cool. Like again, not what I intended it for, but I think it looks good. Like when I first played this, I was like, what? Because Nickman told me there was no custom content besides just the map itself. So I'm really kind of it really tickled me how they're using the built-in Delaware assets. Um, crap.
Quit hiding.
Oh, we got company. Yeah, don't roll me up. There we go. Okay. Yeah, again, I think the level is well lit, and I really like the design. It's very complex, which is cool. I like again reusing parts of stuff that we didn't really intend to be used this way, but like using these support beams as a railing is really cool. think there's just there's it's kind of really enemy dense, but that's okay. Um, I blew up that table, so the table, yeah. And this is I love the yeah, just these little touches are so good. Um, to me, this almost feels like, because like I think Nickman designed it to be a it's from the level piece. It looks like it's just a hollow piece, but Nickman, you could almost I'd almost like to see like just an entire hand-built level that you made, rather than making a single level piece. Make just like a full-on like 100 by 100 level. You don't have to use the level building system. You can just make static levels. Like that's how the cold area is done. It's just one big piece. Another thing too, um, I think I know how to get to it. Let me try this out. So you go here. I think you can run this way. Then you can open the secret door and get the. Is that a? Looks like they also. Yeah, so this is a special longsword too. Looks like it does a pretty decent amount of damage, which is really cool. Like I'm really digging this so far. Kirby says, how many versions of E1, M1 of Doom or Wolf 3D? Definitely Wolf 3 would be much easier to translate into this. And one of the local guys here has started toying around with making one, but I don't think he's gotten too terribly far. Man, I just love this detail where like there's a chair with a book, and there's this stool with a candle on it. Like that just feels like it's just so good. Like that is like something you actually like see in life. You know, it makes it just it breathes so much more life into it. Um, yeah. Um, so let's look at the other map because I have not seen it yet. Let's look at end.bin. Oh, cool. This is different. This is like a lava themed one. Oh, this looks like it's an alternate ending for the boss fight, which is really cool. Oh my goodness. Um, okay, so I like the fact that they're sticking these chunks over here to definitely break up the blockiness of the wall. That's a pretty cheap way to do it. Ooh, and they flipped it. Well, no, this is just they didn't flip it. This is just they just picked some good colors here for this tile in the room. Looks like they picked the upper wall and ceiling. Yeah, that's a really cool trick. I should use that when I'm making levels. I always forget about the gold in the walls. That might be is that a different tile sheet, or is that just something I forget to do now? Yeah, it's just something I forget to do. So I need to be more mindful when I'm making ruins areas that we do have that. Oh, look at this! Look at this broken up area. That's really cool. It's like the lava's pushing up the floor. That's really nice. Then we have the orb up there, which should mean that the lich spawns. I can paralyze him and then I can kill him. So I kill the lich with the dagger. So the paralyze might be overpowered. Can I walk him into the? Oh man, that's really cool. Nickman, these are really good. I mean, what you've done here with giving like kind of all these angles really like had this good sense of weight to it. I really like that. Like it really does feel like this whole area is just kind of slowly breaking apart and sinking into the lava. That's something that I don't really capture as well as I could in some of the level pieces I make. Yeah, and this is a cool focal piece for like the ruin area. Yeah, this is nice. Um, you could certainly, I mean, there are some props. Wait, there's a trigger here too. What's this trigger? What's this trigger? Uh-oh, I just noticed that. What's that?
Who was that?
Ah! Or is it an attack trigger? Uh, let me see what it does. Can I hurt it? Oh no. So I am really kind of determined now to figure out what this thing does. What does it do? Is it just a normal button? It's just a trigger. Um, button models here. Yeah, it should be a use.
Quit
Can I not
hiding.
reach it? There we go. Oh, what's that? Ah, it gave me a weapon, which is really cool. Um, is it a predefined weapon? Yeah, it is. Very cool. Yeah, and they kind of this secret area up here that you hit it, and then this weapon comes down, which is nice. Um, yeah, like that's a cool way to do it. I really like how they are adding. Nick, I'm not quite sure. I think what you're doing is are you manually editing um, the file to add these items in? Because normally you can't. Normally you can't just add them from the right click menu. You can't, at least not that I can recall, you can't right click, add entity, basic. I don't think you can just add items this way. Sword? Is that how you're doing it? And then are you just manually choosing all this stuff? Or are you copying it from um, base damage 0, random damage 200, knock reach 500. Okay, wow, cool. Yeah, so yeah, apparently you're building it from the right-click menu, which is really cool. You certainly can do that. I thought you might be editing it in, but that's not necessarily the case. Prefab. Um, cool. That's really impressive. I like the work you're doing. It's very cool. You might consider using some of the if you right-click here and go to prefab generator. Like temple, like there's a temple small head. Like you can use some of this stuff to kind of decorate up your level a little bit, which I mean you are doing to a degree with these meshes. Yeah, feel free to use more meshes. You can also maybe throw some traps in here too. I'm not sure would be you could just like right click entity. Uh, Let me see where did I put it? Prefab, uh, temple sets, and then a spike column trap. Yeah, you could throw one of these in there if you wanted. So this is kind of overkill. Um, but again, it might be able to add variation that way. That might be too intense though. But yeah, there are definitely ways that you can um, you could tweak around this. I would be curious to see if you stick with it, what you come up with. But yeah, I really like where you headed. Um, 2 and 2 says, I want to mod in a huge overroll. Yeah, you could certainly do that. All you have to do is just replace the start.bin map. And I mean, you could just go, file, new. And it doesn't have to be 17 by 17. You can make it 100 by 100. Great. And then you have this giant space to work with, right? And you can just make a big old selection, right? So we're not going to stop you. And then you can set we can hollow that out. We can drag the ceiling up. We can make the upper wall. We can make that sky, lower wall, sky, ceiling, sky, floor, grass. And yeah, that should just you should be able to create. I mean, you might have to tweak around, play around some of the values, like, but yeah, you just make it as big an overworld as you want. I think the maps can be pretty large. I've never played around with anything bigger than 100 by 100. But there might be some theoretical limits, but I'm not quite sure what they are. what you might have to do is select here. So I made my upper wall and ceiling selection, upper wall, lower wall, and ceiling selection as the sky. And I think if I, instead of painting it, you have to paint the adjacent adjacent tiles of that. So if you look here, like if I paint those, the ones that, if I painted the adjacent tiles, that's when the sky actually shows through. And then you just set a custom sky to whatever you want, and there you go. You can make it, you know, like the other thing too is you can, for example, you can make it just a big selection, and you can just grab the handle and pull it up. Let me make the lower wall this rocky grass texture, upper wall the same. You know, and you can just kind of keep making these selections and playing around with, you know, like maybe I can lower this edge and pull this one up, and you can slowly like build up a hill, you know, just kind of making different selections and just kind of roughly just doing something like that. You know, and then, you know, you can also right click and you can place prefab misc mesh tree, and you can also place another misc mesh pine tree, and you can just kind of copy these around. You know, after you know, if you work hard enough at it, you can get an entire outdoor scene. There's not too much stopping you really. I just personally, I mean, I don't know if a large overworld is appropriate for Delver, but please mod it in if you want it. If you want to see it, mod it in. Maybe it's cool, you know. Yeah, so Tuxiac says, man, I love creating maps, levels, and games. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, when you buy Delver, we do give you the map editor that we use to make the game with, and it just lives right next to the Delver executable, and you can make maps to your heart's content. So True Shadok says, I'd love to see the original Zelda replicated in Delver. Somebody actually did that a few years back. They replaced all the textures with Zelda textures. It looked pretty cool. Pardon me. Dr. Kegel says, hi, Dr. Kegel. Okay, so we hit the 2-hour mark, and this is usually when I end it, but I think I'm gonna go on an extra hour. So hopefully, if you folks don't mind hanging out with me for another hour, that'll be cool. Also, I've not eaten, and I need to grab a bite. So let me just do a real quick break, and I'll be back in maybe 5 minutes. But yeah, again, Nickman, thank you very much for sharing your work and letting me show it on stream. I was really excited about it. I think this will do. For 2016, 1410. Sweet. I will be back, folks. Just allow me to snarf some food down. All right, I am back. Yeah, let's grab a quick few bites, just so I'm not starving. Thank you for putting up with my little break. Yeah, so yeah, I spoke with my wife, and looks like my son is behaving. So I'm gonna go another hour, and let's try to get some more work done. Get this update ready to go out. Um, yeah, so Chris says, I hope more workshop tools get implemented by release time. Yeah, definitely. That is such a huge priority. Like, I think it'll add a lot of longevity to the game, and I mean, just allowing users to make content is so cool. So we're so close. Actually, the way our mod structure works will work really well with how workshop support works. We just need to point it at the correct directory. And I think, so for those of you who do know or don't know, how Steam handles it, pardon me, is if you go to your Steam directory and you go to Steam apps, if you go to common, this is where all your games live. But if you go up to workshop, do you not have any workshops downloaded or any stuff workshop content downloaded? Generally here you have, let me just real quick, what games do I have installed? Did I, Steam apps, common, huh, I guess I don't have anything. Let me real quick, just install some, uh, so let me go install a game. Install this machine, install, next. So downloading something while I'm streaming might not be a great idea, but also cool. So I really like Skyrogue. For those of you that heard of it, Skyrogue is a low poly like flight simulator shoot 'em up thingy, which is really cool. I like it. So let's just. I think I have some I'm subscribed to already, but let me just take a look. Most subscribed, yeah, Swordfish 2 is really cool. I'm already subscribed to it, so Steam should already handle downloading the stuff for me. So let me take a look and see if that happens. So Skyrogue got installed, and then into Workshop. So Workshop now has a content folder with this is a Workshop ID, which corresponds to Skyrogue. So if you were to look at the ID in the URL when you're browsing it on Steam, this should agree. Then these are the unique IDs for each piece of downloadable content. So for Delver, we just have to make sure that we look in the Steam Workshop content, make sure we look under the folder with our unique ID in it, and then we can pull the mod stuff in. GUI2203 says Delvet should be redesigned to make it more user friendly. Yeah, I agree, but right now our focus is getting the game out there. Unfortunately, the tools always take a back seat because we want them just to be good enough that we can use them. Unfortunately, so let's fix this, right? Let's make this look good. So I think what's killing me is this frame here should be better. It shouldn't be awful to do. It should just be a 45-degree from that one. So let me just see if I can clean this up real quick. Do something like that all the way across, and then same thing here, all the way across, like that. To the middle. I think I've shifted it, so you just grab the offset tool and just bump it up. Let me try. Let me see how Pixel Edit does the rotation. Let's do Control C, Control V, put it over here, and do the rotation. Because it should be pretty easy to do a clean. So yeah, just ugh, yuck, yuck. You'd think doing a 45 would be easier than this. Let me just clean up those pixels. So Chris says, do you think you get the animated fireball this stream? I'm excited to see how that will turn out. Um, maybe? Like, to be perfectly honest with you folks, animation terrifies me. Somehow it's getting bigger, which it shouldn't be. So that's the right spot. That's wider. I mean, I guess the overall shape shouldn't change a lot, right? Let me just look at the shape compared to the shape in the first frame. Yeah, for some odd reason it is different. Um, yeah, animation is just, it's very tedious. It's just very time consuming and I'm not comfortable doing animation and I'm just self-conscious about it. The tiles are 32 by 32 pixels large. Let's see what that looks like. If it looks like hot garbage, I'll fix it. I mean, it's spinning fast enough. As long as if I just add a little bit more there, that's the way the middle doesn't flash. So that might be okay. Let me save this. Um, Even though these 22-degree frames are awful. I think they should be spinning fast enough to kind of cover up uh, the hot mess that they are. I guess they actually should be. See what chat says. Yeah, I've heard of the Doom mod called Dude, which is super weird, where it's just all the textures and all the levels are just mirrored about the about yeah about along the x-axis, and everything just looks strange. Um, so Pyroarson said the stream for them is not loading, which is just a shame. That's unfortunately that's kind of out of my hands, but um, uh, that's unfortunate that the stream's not loading for them. I just have to clean this up a little bit so it's not so super awful. Ugh. Okay, that frame actually looks okay. Maybe I can, because I think it's just the same thing but just flipped. Yeah. Let me just try to make this one look nice, and I'll duplicate it for the other one. Save my efforts. Sorry, I'm really into like focusing in on this. So if I get quiet, I apologize. So that's probably good enough. Yeah. Yeah, Doom for Doom. Yeah, no, there's definitely like I really am digging the. I love the fact that Doom still has a development team. I think it uh, okay. Control T. How can I selection flip horizontally? I think that's what I want, and then I just need to offset this to be the correct place. Let's go up. There we go. Okay, let's call this good. I've spent enough time on it. If I keep fiddling with these, I'll never get the update out to you folks. Let's just export this as a image, and let's browse and let's save it to assets, particles. Yup. Save, replace, and then let's take a look at desktop. Let's take a look. I think the missile wand is already hooked up to it, so let's see what that looks like. Let me see. Adapunkin says hi. Hi, thank you for stopping by my stream. I'm going a little bit longer today. Got about another half hour, 35 minutes left. So I want to get as much done in this as I can. Chris. Okay, yeah, I'll take a look at that. If I goofed up one of the arms on the effect, I'll fix it. Always catch my mistakes. Yeah, I think it looks good. I think the arms might still be a little long. Let's go back into here and take a look. Yes, the 45 degree does have one arm that's longer than the others, and I don't know why. Yeah, let me just fix that. Okay. And actually, let me fix up these. Just make it just a little bit smaller. So yeah, so this is erase that, 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 that. And something like that. Cool. I think those might be a little long now. Let me pull these in. Let's see what that looks like. File, save that, or export, image, particles, save, yup. All right, let's test it out real quick. Michael's saying, I was thinking about making a mod after you stream where you touched on those. Maybe once you get time. Yeah, sure. That'd be cool. And again, if you missed it earlier this stream, I was featuring some of Nickman's work. So if you do make something cool and you want to share it, I am more than happy to showcase it on the stream. Yeah, I think it looks better. Yeah. Let's call that good for now. So that is the new magic missile texture. That is the new texture there. Let me just go ahead and say new magic missile sprite. Let me commit and sync. Go to my checklist, and on the missile wand, spell art. So missile wand is done. Yes. Oh man. Again, I could put this on the I could put it on the ice wand and see what it looks like. That might be okay. On the ice wand. I have it play a little slower. So maybe 15 or 12.5. Just pulling magic numbers out of the air now. I messed something up. What did I do? Oh, it's only on the magic missile projectile and not the spread mess. So does a spread magic missile projectile, does it inherit? Oh, so it does not get the fancy. So they both, well, projectile. So this extends this spell. Creates the projectile. Hmm. Okay, so what's this appearance prop? Where does appearance come in? Material appearance, weird. Okay. So it doesn't support it out of the box. So let me just copy those over. So atom speed and atom text. Put it on spread magic missile, which is a little weird. This is a spell and not the actual projectile. What's the best way to do this? So right now, I guess I'm not going to worry about it. I'll let it be its own thing. Rather than trying to do something like that, what if I just had that? If it was a static image, is that okay? Let me see. GUI 2203 says, when is the update going to be released? You know, that's, again, soon. We're trying to get it out as soon as we can. I do want to get the stuff up to a good. I broke this good. Okay. So that is the texture for the item and not for the spell. So where is the ice wand? Spell. Texture 52. I think that's what I meant to do. Yeah, no, I agree. I'll answer your question here in just a moment. Wands, ice. That's a little bit better. At least they're smaller than the old one. Explosion star text 3639. Is that correct? So if I look at 3639, yep, that's correct. I just updated that. That's good. So kind of going back to GUI's question, if we look at like the update, the milestone says we are Let me see. If you click on November 2016, it says we're 54% complete. And I'm pushing to get some of this stuff done. These bugs, I mean, they may or may not be critical to this update. Like, it's just mostly around input. And it's mostly about me trying to get some of this stuff done. So the wands are 15 out of 20 done. I'm about to call the spell wand. It's probably going to be good enough for now. I need to get the paralyzed wand stuff figured out. I thought I think I created this up here maybe for the paralyzed wand. So maybe that's closer than I thought it might be. Let me just real quick and dirty. That's what we're doing in this stream. So Nickman says, once I was messing with the dungeon level, I selected all, carved it, and Delbed decided to save that. I tried going back with Control Z, nothing happened. Yikes. Yikes. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. I guess I had the luxury of working from source control, so I can always roll back to an older version. Okay, so let's play around with the Paralyzed Wand. I think this is something that may work. Let me just mess with this animation. I want it to be base tile number 13, length 2. Okay. And then I want just to kind of just slow, well, not really slowly, but just kind of vibrate a little bit. Oh, okay, so I need to, okay, there we go. Pixel Edit assumes you're working with tiles, so unless you create a unique tile instance, it will do stuff like that, where you edit one and it edits everything. Whoop, and play. Control D, O, offset tool. Okay, let's try again, fast. Okay, so that hopefully that doesn't give people like seizures or anything, but let's try that. File, export, image, particles, save, replace, yes. This is tiles 13 and 14. So let's go down to the paralyzed wand, and I want to do the same thing. So as the missile wand, the magic projectile needs to have these properties. And go down to paralyze, and its projectile needs to have those properties, but it's 13 and 14 that I want. So texture is 13, in texture is 14. I need to add, what's it doing? Oh yeah, because I just held space to try to pan my text editor, which is not what it's going to do. This should be the yellow color. So let me go up here to spell color and paste that in. And let's just see what this makes the paralyzed wand look like. Okay, race new. Okay, wands, paralyze, 5. That's okay. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, I think it's a step in the right direction. again, maybe this first version doesn't have to be perfect. Um, yeah, GUI2203 says it doesn't fit. Yeah, I might try doing something like I wonder if I make it full bright again, and then I go in and let me close this, discard changes, open it back up in Photoshop. No. Open particles. And then if I made it yellow, because I don't foresee any other effect using this. So I'm just going to go ahead and color tint it correctly. So let me grab this. Actually, it's not going to work, but okay, so actually, yeah, so fill that like that. Let me select that, and then color drop that, and fill that in. And then let me select these, fill those in, Control H, Control U. When you play around some of the colors, you get something that looks a little bit more appropriate. So maybe like that. Pull this. More sat, more light, less sat, more light, more sat, more red, less red. Yeah, orange is one of those weird colors where it's kind of still, I think it's too much saturation. Let's try that. And then let me colorize that. Just maybe make this more of a brownish. Okay, let's flatten that, save it, and see what it looks like in Engine. And I can always undo that real quick. So Chris says the particles coming out look a bit odd as they're coming out of the middle space of the ring. Maybe they came out at random points in the ring, or the particles themselves were rings. Yeah, that's actually not a bad suggestion, Chris. Late. No, I appreciate you folks offering feedback. It's definitely helpful. Yeah, I don't know. Let me go back to that, and then I don't know if the tinting's actually. Let me just keep it tinted. That way we get the particle color the way we do. Whoa! Apparently it's snowing outside, so that's fun. I didn't realize it was supposed to happen today. That's cool. Um, okay, so yellow, and then the particles it drops. Can I control those? Attached sprite beam. Make the sprite beam color the same color as the sprite beam looks weird now because there's a. Let me get rid of the sprite beam. Um, let me look and see where that little texture comes from. Magic missile projectile, particle, leaf trail. And it looks like it's hard coded. I'm pretty sure that's the texture. So let's call this projectile. Let's just call it public int trail particle text equals 0. And then I can hook this up, put it down here to lead if it leave trail, then now we have a little bit more control over the trail it leaves. So it should be this dot trail particle text. Cool. And let's go back into Photoshop and yeah, let's just make a wherever we have space, we'll make a, let's put it next to the star. We'll make a little make a little particle right here. Control V. G. That's off center. Great. Let me just bump it like that. Then like that. Now it's on center, but it might be a little bit small. Let me go up like that. And then put like a little hole in it, kind of like a donut, just to imply that it's a ring. Photoshop, what are you doing? Okay. Except for this is going to be color tinted, so it'll look weird if I leave it like that. So let me zoom out a little bit and let me just do something like G, and then that needs to be white, that needs to be gray, and let me just quickly clean that up. Oops, and then select this dark gray, and then put that right there in the middle. Let me save that. I have no idea which tile that is. Let me pull it up and pixel edit. So it looks like, wow, it looks like, so yeah, so Chris is in New Zealand. He says it's a blazing hot summer. And it looks like a few folks are down in Brazil. So they probably don't get as much snow as I see. Let me see. Import tiled image, assets, particles. Yup. And then I'm looking for the index, which is 70. So for here, I created this new property for Magic Missile projectiles, which is trail particle text. So on items for the projectile, I can say trail particle text, and that is 50. Is that what I said? 70. And then let's run this son of a gun and see what it actually does. Price and plate. Okay. K wands, paralyze, 5. Oh, what have I done? Oh, because it assumes that it's at the bottom. That's what it's doing. Okay, I need to make it smaller and position at the bottom. Can do. So real quick, let's just erase that, erase that, erase that. And then let's just move this sucker down. And now let's play. Create ones, paralyze, 5. Okay, so there's a square, which I need to unsquare them a bit. That would probably be okay. It's a little odd. Let's see what that looks like. Hey, Gunnar Nelson, thank you for stopping by my stream. Are you trying to, like, I think Gunnar Nelson was trying to do a song request, maybe? Um, so one, I have a very, very basic MooBot that just it promotes me because I sometimes forget to promote myself, and um, like if I'm going to succeed, I need to do that. Um, Yeah, so all my MooBot does is it just spouts out information about what I'm doing and stuff like that. I don't do music on my stream because I think the primary value of my stream is me talking about the game and how you can mod it. And I'm worried that if I play music, that either YouTube will take down the archive of this or that Twitch will mute out the volume. So instead of doing that, I'd rather just talk, which is it's taken me a while to get used to, but like talking while I'm working is kind of cool. I think that's working okay. Let me just turn down the frequency of that just a touch, and I think we'll be all right. Leave trail. Also, oh. What if the start scale was game.rand.next float times 0.75 plus 0.5. Just give a little variation there. And the trail interval is a property, so I can slow that way down for this guy. So on the trail interval on the magic missile projectile, make sure I don't have it defined anywhere else. I don't think I do. So let's do 0.5. Does it take floats? Is that what the... Yeah. So half as many. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, so Nickman, I agree too, but unfortunately right now, so the old legacy particles were defined at the bottom of the sprite, and the new ones are defined at the middle, and a lot of stuff uses the old ones, so I don't want to break how that works. So they are just, maybe I can add a little bit of jitter to the X, Y, and Z, so it doesn't look so perfect. I think that'll also help as well. Paralyze. I don't know if the scale doesn't seem to be really doing much. So magic missile, I was playing around with. If leave trail, is it start scale? I think on the missile here, what was I doing? Is it start scale, end scale? Where's my maybe? It's scale and end scale for some reason. So let me go and fix that. So it's not scale, it's just scale. That should do that. Particles XA minus XA. So this positions them perfectly along that. So I want to do plus game.ran.nextFloat um, minus 0.5, which will give us a value between minus 0.5 and positive 0.5. And I want to multiply this whole thing by a smaller value. So let's say times 0.1f. Then let me just add that to all of the, so this will jitter out the particle a little bit. It looks like it also honors the Y offset, so I might play around with that as well. Let's see what that does. Let me see. It looks like see you, Gunner. Thanks for stopping by. So would you guys be interested in me playing music or no? Because I've kind of voiced my concerns about it, but I'm curious what people think. That's looking cool, right? I think so. What if I turn down the interval timer? I think I turned it the wrong way. I think the interval should go, I think that's the time in between. So let me try going to like 2. Chris says, nah. What are you naying? Oh, yeah. Yeah, he says the Delver music is good. Okay, cool, yeah. I do have a buddy who is a folk singer-songwriter, which he makes cool music, but I think Delver music is also good too. Let me try Paralyze 1 again. Why is this? It doesn't seem to be. There we go. There we go. Maybe even less too. Or maybe a less lifetime. Let me look into that. Magic missile projectile, P lifetime. Let's just do lifetime. So let me just expose that as a property as well. Let me see. Particle emitter. We have a particle lifetime and particle random lifetime. Okay, so that's what we need, random lifetime and lifetime. So here I have a public float trail particle lifetime. Is it capital T? No, lifetime. Equals like 60, is that right? Float and public float trail particle random lifetime equals 60. I think, let's see what this is defined as. This lifetime is, yeah, 60 times, yeah, so this is this dot trail particle random lifetime plus this dot trail particle lifetime. Cool. So now that's a property we can play with. And again, modders, these are things that are exposed to the JSON, so you can play around with this. Nickman says, where did I learn Spanish, Josh? Yeah. Lo siento, pero mi español es muy terrible. Y que es la palabra para learn? Um, uh, 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 la escuela y Duolingo. So 81847, or was it? Is it? Is it? So I'm gonna call you 1847 because you have a bunch of symbols I can't pronounce in there, mostly because they're just the vertical bar. Um, yeah. So yes and no. Like it depends what you want to do. Like if you're doing like physicsy stuff, yeah, you need to be like on your game about like mathematics. But like other things, not so much. No, no, I didn't think you were mocking me, Nickman. Like um, I know a little Spanish, mostly from school and personal studies. I wish I knew better Spanish, um, but it is what it is. And also in high school, there might have been a cute foreign exchange girl from Venezuela and one from Spain, but you know that's a weak reason to learn Spanish. So I changed a property on um, yes. So the magic missile projectile has now a trail lifetime particle and trail lifetime random particle. So I can make um, the trail particle for the paralyzed wand last less, so maybe 15 and 15. And this should be random. Random. Okay. Let's see what that does. Slightly. Yeah, no, I certainly wish I spoke more languages than I did. It would be a very useful skill. Yeah, I'm just gonna start exposing more properties. I think yes, yes, I agree. Nickman, you are correct. Um, so particle emitter, we also have a scale, right? We got a start scale, particle start scale, start scale, and end scale. So let me just do that real quick too. Public float. I can like for me reading Spanish is way easier than actually speaking it. Particle, shell particle. I can't focus. Particle, and it was start scale, end scale. Start scale, and end scale. And then right now, um, it was one. Um, so yeah, Chris says that the most important math to him is vector math and trig. Yep, and it's basic vector algebra is probably all the more you need. Like vector calculus is cool, but like I really haven't used it since university. So yeah, just basic vector math and trig is very helpful. Jamie Tech Tips says hello. Hey, Jamie Tech Tips. Um, so we'll call it this dot trail particle start scale and this dot trail particle end scale. And the end scale should, I think the previous value, just to make sure I'm not breaking stuff, was, I think it just was going from 1 to 0. Let me look at my diff in my Git. So start scale was 1. Yep. So That should be correct. That should preserve existing behavior, which is important. Um, start. Okay. Let me real quick, let me just save this. Let me tweak the paralyze one a little bit, and I probably got to get going. Yeah. Copy. Okay, and then let's go to halftime, and then maybe she'll leave this at 0, and then start scale 125. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, of course, Michael, you're welcome. I really look forward to streaming every Sunday and hanging out with you folks. I always get a good crowd. It's nice to have my regulars. It's nice that people are interested in programming and art and game dev in general. It's really cool. It's something I'm passionate about. I'm happy to share with folks. So, that going on. I could probably make them bigger. Try 2. I can almost make it look like it's make it kind of look like it's actually like trailing off of the main one. So that might be an interesting effect. Wands, paralyze, and then I think it's too big, but I think it's getting closer to what I want. So 1.75. Let's drop this down. One last time, and then I will commit. And yeah, GUI2203. Yeah, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate the company. Have a good rest of your day. One. Let's paralyze. Again, that Y offset's going to bother me, so I might play around with that. But I think it's in a good place. Let me just go ahead and commit my stuff I've changed right now. Working on paralyze wand effects. Commit and sync. Okay, so I had a great stream today. Thank you everybody for hanging out with me. I want to just thank you all. Thank you all very much for supporting me, both by buying Delver and by hanging out with me on my stream. So for those of you who don't know, I stream every Sunday at noon Pacific. So that's what this is. This is my weekly regular stream. Occasionally I do bonus streams as I have free time, which sometimes happens, sometimes not. A few weeks ago I did like an entire week of bonus streams, which is kind of rare. I'll try to squeeze one in this week. We'll see if it happens. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me. Have a good week, and I will see you next Sunday.